All right, Matt, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. Although, I know crypto traders aren't waiting for the Fed. What difference does it make, right? So I'm promoting you to panelists, Matt, and welcome to F.A.C.E. You'll see a drop-down menu. Let me unmute you. And I should be able to hear you. Not sure if you're going to be sharing your screen, Matt.
Okay, how do I share? Oh, right here?
Yeah.
There is a green button that says share. In that panel.
He's got it.
Yeah, you got it. Perfect.
You got it, buddy.
Perfect.
We can see you.
All right. So pleasure to meet you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so it must have been some tweet that attracted me to it. Maybe it's your handle. Why don't you start there? What does your handle mean?
Sure. Okay. So DJ Thistle. So I actually have been a musician for 22 years. I started when I was like 18. So I had my Twitter handle for music, and then I got into crypto quite a few years ago. And I mean,
so you answered my question. I was thinking, and my guess was that music came first before trading.
Yeah.
For you. And let me ask you this: did you look at trading as a vehicle to fund what your real love is, music and producing? And it takes a lot of money to, really. I'm not familiar with the business, but it's pretty capital intensive to do recording sessions, etc., right?
Yeah, and gear and touring and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it does. There is a monetary aspect to it for sure. And I was interested in silver and commodities and whatnot, and a friend of mine found out about crypto, and we were at a show and he told me about it, and we kind of just went into the back, kind of like the green room kind of thing for artists, and he pulls out his computer and he shows me all this stuff and the charts, and I think it was Cryptsy, one of the old altcoin exchanges, and I was just looking at the way that the charts move and how fast and volatile everything was, and I just thought, wow, like this is probably where I should be.
So how long have you been trading now?
So I've been in the crypto sphere for 6 years, and then I dabbled around in silver and whatnot for a few years before that.
Okay, and interesting that the methodology you gravitated to is Wyckoff. How did that happen to you?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it was because I find a lot of, like, something I've noticed in crypto is that like poker players have really good risk management, and a lot of musicians and artists tend to see patterns and fractals in trading. So I think my kind of analytical mind just saw the math in it all and was seeing patterns all the time. So I just I really got into Wyckoff because of the repetition of market structure.
Interesting. So do you teach? I notice you now have it's called Coin Street.
Coin Street News. Yeah, we've had that for quite a long time. So I did do more mentoring. I haven't done any of that in the last couple of years, just because my family has grown. We have the kind of core group of guys that we all still hang out and I do updates with, but I haven't been actively mentoring new people at all. And before that, with music, I did teach at a post-secondary music school. So that was okay. It was kind of difficult just because I found there was a lot of young people that want to be musicians, but then once they start learning the technical side of the industry, they're not really all that into it. So I have a lot of respect for high school teachers, because teaching adults sucked.
All right, so you know what you like, and
yeah.
So it's important for people to know that risk management that you brought up. So you talk about good poker players, good traders have the same type of mentality. So yeah, I see you have Bitcoin up here. What is this, like a monthly chart?
3-day. Yeah, I was just pulling up a chart to have something here for you. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Because the numbers to the right don't make sense to me. This is Oh, this is Bitstamp. Okay.
Yeah, I guess this would be the all-time, or not the all-time, but the last 7 years on a log scale.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. So we're looking at this. I guess the key question that everyone's asking is this a bear market rally in crypto? Or is this a resumption of the bull market and the 80% decline was the end of the bear?
Yeah, I think that this is the resumption of a new bull market.
Okay.
I think if we were to go like this is an index for Bitcoin that includes the Mt. Gox era back here. So, and I think we'll see, I use this kind of 1, 2, 3 blow off top as a wave, and I sort of see the 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing it up here again, and I think that we're starting, another 4 wave, which would be sort of the fourth of a fourth, and that would be sort of the mass adoption cycle as I see it, and with what's happening with Facebook and Libra and all that kind of stuff, and seeing all the interest from PayPal to MasterCard. MasterCard's really been into the space that would make sense, that if we are on this, fourth version of a 4-wave push, that this would be the start of an important rally.
Do you also pay attention to altcoin spaces? Obviously, this is your bailiwick. Do you spend most of your time completely in this space, or are you also looking at currency and metals?
Yeah, I spend most of my time, I guess, in the crypto space, and I think that my account got popular because of altcoins, quite a few years back. But even though, because when you mentioned Wyckoff, the Wyckoff GAN, and also Livermore's parabola type theories, I find are really applicable to altcoins. So I applied that to altcoins and kind of got a lot of followers that way. So I do like the altcoin space, but regardless of that, I tend to hold most of my crypto holdings in Bitcoin. I usually don't go past, 20% is usually my market allocation for altcoins.
Okay.
Because they are so volatile, they're like trading a penny stock. So if you're going to be overexposed, you're going to have huge drawdowns. And like what everyone's seeing right now, we've gone off of the bottom at 3,000 and gone up basically, a triple, and altcoins aren't doing anything. So everyone that is deep, over 50% of their holdings in altcoins is losing money right now. So
yeah. So in that type of environment, I would call that really like people just buying blue chip stocks, right? So they're in the majors, right? They're in Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. And what you're saying is after the decimation of the altcoins into this year, they have not recovered.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think what most people are waiting for is, if you see like on the chart, like let's say in here, let me change this color.
And I wanted to ask you, when you look at altcoins, I'm mainly technical. Do you really have to know a lot about, white papers, and you really have to do your fundamental research too, because when you say they're like penny stocks, I remember, bulletin board things, and, actually what made them move weren't the fundamentals, but bringing in, actually going out and giving people shares. So maybe they give coins to people to promote it and bring in volume to the coin. Is that what happens in altcoins?
Yeah, that can be one thing that happens. A phrase I like to use is a rising tide
lifts all ships.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that happens in crypto. My guess is because there's not a lot of liquidity. Like a lot of altcoins have very thin books, and it doesn't really take a lot to move them. So the cycle would be something like this for, let's say,
They kick in during the tail end of this bull move.
Yeah, and that's kind
right?
of what I was trying to draw out here on the chart, was a couple places where you see, extended flat, extended sideways, or after new all-time highs is when we tend to see altcoins move the most. And that tends to happen 3 times a year. Usually the biggest move would be accumulation around Christmas time with a sell-off closer
So people
to.
are what? Are they taking tax losses like they would in any other asset
Well,
class
here's the
into
thing:
the
is
end of the year?
I have found that crypto is completely cyclical. There's a 235-ish day rally cycle that you see in a lot of different market cycle that you see in a lot of different altcoins, and there's really
is
no.
that wick off, or is that how did you come up with that number?
That's just
Noticing it.
Yeah, just noticing it over and over again.
Okay. Observation is a great teacher, isn't it?
It is. It really is. Like, a lot of the people ask me about my kind of cycles and GAN theory with crypto, and they ask, well, where can I read about this? And it's like, well, there's nowhere to read about it, because it's just 6 years of watching the charts and noticing, okay, well, every like Dogecoin, most of the time does 30 days up and 200 days down, 30 days up, 200 days down. And in the middle of the 200 days down, there's a relief rally in the middle. And I noticed that a lot of those different cycles tend to, not all the time, because
Nothing is all the time.
Yeah, and new all-time highs shifts things a little bit. But in terms of the general play of the market, sometime around winter solstice often becomes an accumulation point with a sell around summer equinox. That would be the big rally for altcoins.
You're talking my language, buddy.
Yeah, and then
it's interesting, that you think it really has. You really delved into the masters, many of them from the 30s. Do you think it has anything to do with being a long hair that you would look into the most esoteric type of analysis for the markets?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been open to that kind of stuff, and my wife is actually quite good with astrology and stuff like that. So I was fairly skeptical. Let's take this back like 15 years, and I think I used her. So she's into Magi astrology, like the Bible, the Magi, and.
So are you guys preppers?
Not really. I'm prepared, because anything can happen, and you should have at least some food and all that kind of stuff aside. But I'm not as preppy as I used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean by prepper.
All right.
And so she, I think. She was telling me stuff about astrology, and I was doing some sports betting. So I think I used her computer program and did some back testing and noticed some stuff with a couple different planetary alignments. And then we won the fantasy football pool at her work. And then I betted some more, and I was like, okay, so this stuff, actually works. And then started applying it a bit with markets, which of course, traditional traders were never fond of that sort of outlook. But over the course of time, I've made some pretty spectacular calls.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a tinfoil hat and sit underneath a pyramid?
Yeah, no, I'm not too tinfoil hat. I don't think that my viewpoint is that planets don't make people do things. I think that we all perhaps come, maybe there's a universal source of energy or consciousness or something like that. And the planets are just the biggest fractal of that energy. And it's a fractal that we can see in this physical world. And it's just so big that it's just so easy to track them. So I'm sure that there's a way to do quote unquote astrology with the bugs in my backyard, or who knows what it is, but that would just be too hard to see and notice and find patterns. So people look at the planets. So I don't think that there's anything, I would never say, well, Saturn made me blah, blah, blah. No, there's some kind of vibe out there. And just like how the moon affects things, and we've seen, moon in the silver market, there's a lot of lunar traders out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a lunatic.
Yeah. So to me, it's just cycles. It's not, that's it.
Cool. Yeah. And it's interesting. So we have the solstice coming up. Are you looking for any trend changes going into it? It's, I think, 2 days away here.
Yeah, so my experience with crypto, like Gann was really big on the spring equinox for stocks.
Yeah.
And there's kind of been this, joke years ago that crypto is kind of like, like the opposite of stocks, right? Like just kind of do the opposite.
Like a negative corollary investment, and it's not. Yeah,
right. And
what is it?
I have found that the pivot for crypto is actually the autumn equinox, and a lot of times on charts you'll see that if you can get some sideways or a higher low at autumn equinox, that you're going to have that you're going to have a bull market, and you're going to have these nice 6-month runs. So spring, spring is where you want to see it have some consolidation and not make lower lows, and then autumn is where you want to see higher lows. And I find that the two summer and winter solstices are not as important.
How about peaking on this wave here, Matt? I learned this trading technique from J.R. Hill called 3 drives to a top, 3 drives to a bottom. And if you pull up the daily on Bitcoin, you do have a 3 drive pattern developing. You break it down to a 4-hour, and there might be one more push. But I'm telling people to take money off the table. What do you think up here?
We could see a push
to 10,000.
Yeah, and even 10,
big round number,
something like that. But definitely, the rally is getting overextended. A Wyckoff kind of view would be that we've had accumulation. If we look at the volume from here to here, there's barely any red. We've had 1, 2. And like you say, that could be like a 3 pushes on a B band right now, or if we go up to 10, 10, 4, then it would be a proper 3rd drive, right? Then after.
What did you say would make it a proper?
I would consider, like, what I would consider this right now would be like if I had B bands on, Bollinger bands on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It would look like what he calls, like a 3 pushes.
Okay.
Whereas a 3 drives, I find that the distance from here to here, here to here, and here to the 3rd leg would be a little more similar. So that would,
what do you do with your momentum indicator you use on your chart?
Sure.
The MACD. What do you do with that?
So this is the Stoch RSI.
Oh, stochastic.
And then these bars here are something that I've concocted over the years.
What are they? No, you're not going to get. I'm going to dig all your proprietary stuff out of you right now.
Yeah, so I won't say exactly. I mean, what they are is not that hard, but it's how to use them. So I find that like it's most people would be like, well, why aren't your bars green and red? Buy and sell. But it doesn't really work that way, which is why I do the blue, because both bars can work in both directions. So in something where it's sideways and I see blue, then I'm thinking that we're going to have some
range.
And then we're looking to buy the dips to go up, and then a red bar in a bull market is letting me know that on the next push down I'm buying, and a red bar in a bear market is letting me know that on my first rally, short it hard and just keep shorting it.
Okay. So, who's we? Are you a Gemini?
Pardon?
You said we.
Oh, we.
Oh, I wonder if you were a Gemini.
Oh, no, I guess the people that, like the people that I have mentored, I've given them for this. So, yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time. All right. Just because I have multiple personality disorder doesn't mean everyone. I'm just projecting on you, Matt. So
that's all good.
Anyway, so you really don't think, you think this 3rd drive could maybe set the stage for that pullback into the fall? Because a lot of stock cycles, and if you're a Gann guy, I've interviewed a lot of sharp people that I've met on Twitter,
Yeah.
And there's one guy, Dax 30, and I think he knows, and maybe you guys know each other, but he has, I believe, he said the most significant turning point of the year coming up, I believe July 18th. It's a GAN date. Do you have anything like that setting up?
I am not looking at a specific date in July as much as I'm looking over here at mid-August at what is called Ghost Festival or Ghost Month. So the Asian market is really, really, really influential in crypto, and Asians are very superstitious towards their, astrology and whatnot. Yeah. So Ghost Month is considered a time not to be over leveraged or be too far invested. And it's not always, when Bitcoin is just in a raging bull market, they
don't care about Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, as much. Or maybe it just goes sideways for 2 weeks. Whereas right now, and the other 75% of the time, we're looking at Ghost Month as being a time where stocks might, crypto might cool off into. So let's put this together. We've had this huge consolidation back here, which is creating support. We blasted through it, and before blasting through it, we made a little bit of base here. So that lets us know that we have this big, if we had the the type of trader that had volume bands, that there'd be a big band of volume here from over here that's sitting on top of this. And with all that into consideration, I believe, where is it?
So couldn't you get a pullback to that yellow rectangle?
Yeah, so if we were to look at GAN theory and his kind of 50% move, you see that that 50% move is pretty much bang on with what I would call this would be the key retail raid, right? Everyone was longing this, and then as soon as this breaks down, it's just this huge cascade on this one daily, and then it keeps going. So to me, this break here, look at that. It's the 50% line is literally sitting on that level, which is right in that big thick of volume. So
can we pull back into that range?
That would seem like, if it can get to that, or even at furthest here and sit on top of these old highs, that is you would think that would get bid immensely hard, right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And that would be kind of, I don't know, worst case in a way. And if we were to, I guess, even just kind of go typical trend trader kind of guy, and do something like that.
They come in in August together.
Yeah. And, and here's the thing is, let's say,
it won't just be Ghost Month. It'll be, can I say it? Ghostbusters.
Right. There we go. So whether it be a 3 pushes here or kind of like a little stronger of a completed 3 drives, if we did come down into Ghost Month and then kind of came up a bit and then made a higher low at Equinox, wow, that would be GAN wise an amazing setup.
So what's your favorite instrument? What did you cut your teeth on?
Yeah, for music, you mean? Yeah. So it's for me, it's been all the electronic side of things. I started when I was really, really young. So my dad was a guitar technician, and it was on the road with bands and stuff. So I was, open to, I played the drums a bit when I was really little, and then some guitar in high school. But then I found the electronic music, and you can make so much yourself just on the computer, and I really liked turntables, and then scratching and all that kind of stuff was really
you DJ too. You ever KJ?
What was that?
Ever KJ?
No.
Karaoke jock?
No.
Couldn't do that. Couldn't handle that, huh?
Yeah. All I've done is clubs and festivals and things like that. Yeah.
What's the closest instrument you have next to you right now?
I guess about 2 arm lengths away, there's a turntable.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, Matt, I was going to have you, take us out on an outro with a great riff on the guitar, but I don't know. I don't know if you want to start scratching for us, huh?
I'd be waking up the kids anyway. It's so early here.
Okay, where do you trade from? Where are you?
I live in Kelowna, BC. So like it's
Oh,
like in the mountains, halfway between Vancouver and Calgary.
okay.
So we're
All
West
right.
Coast.
Wow, sounds beautiful up there.
It is, yeah, it's
Is
really
it
nice.
summer yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like 34 Celsius yesterday.
Nice, buddy. Well,
Scorching.
really, I'd love to have you back sometime, Matt. Maybe, around Halloween or the ghost season. Or
Yeah, right
maybe
around Ghost Festival. Yeah,
yeah, Frankenstein time, whatever. And
sounds good.
and really, I've interviewed, you know, well over 1,000 traders over the years, and I could kind of tell when someone knows. So why don't you show your website and the best place for people to follow you and stay in touch with you, along with your Twitter handle, and show your CoinStreet page here.
Sure. Yeah. So we would have that's the main one with most of my followers and all that kind of stuff.
Is that you? Is that a live picture of you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. A little like Frank Zappa.
Yeah. Thanks.
Come on, you had fun.
And then here's the other one.
All right.
And then here's the other one that's just charts and news and none of my ramblings and whatnot.
Well, you have a blog page too, CoinStreetNews.com.
Yeah, we actually started that in like 2014, and that was very, very current and up to date till the 217 bull run, and then just
okay.
everything got hectic, and we just pulled back from the blog. We're going to be starting the blog more, and yeah, so people can check it out and read about Wyckoff and Gann and Livermore and all that kind of stuff. And if people are interested in Wyckoff trading, please check out the pinned tweet on my DJ Thistle account. Last time I checked, I was the #1 Google search for Wyckoff models and the #2 search for Gann 50% rule. So I think it's really awesome that some crypto traders are, on those big searches, because Wyckoff theory has been out for 100 years. So I'm really happy to have been able to have a little bit of effect in people's trading.
Really, it's tremendous. Don't you feel so rewarded when you've taught people something and they begin to outperform you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you laugh, so I know it happens. So
the student should always pass the master if the master is a good teacher.
Oh, I love that. You know what? We're going to wrap that on that. You're my trading warrior brother now too, right, man?
Bless, Dale.
Okay, man. So I hope pips rain down on you, and everyone that you teach, are also, they gain the wisdom that you're sharing with them. And I wish you great success during this time, and really glad that we met each other. And thank you for your time and edifying our community today, Matt.
Thanks a lot, Dale.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
So that's a wrap. I'll see everyone. Remember, the chat room is open for the Fed. Good luck on the Fed, everyone. That was Matt. What a great interview, if I must say so myself. I'll see everyone later. Good hunting into the Fed. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And you know what else, guys? My handle's Forex Stop Hunter. You know why? I know where your stops are. I'll see everyone later. Adios.